Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Our guest today is Andrée Martin, your leadership mindset and golf performance coach. And as you well know, when Andrée Martin is on the Success Insight podcast, it's Mindset Monday. So a little bit about Andrée. She is an LPGA Class A Life member, a nationally recognized top 50 golf teacher and expert, and a member of the Maine Golf Hall of Fame. Recognizing golf's value as a business tool in today's competitive marketplace, Andrée works with individuals, groups, corporate, and organizational clients to create educational and team-building programs that enhance the professional success of aspiring executives. Andrée Martin, welcome back to the Success Insight podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here, Howard, as always.
Fantastic. So, Andrée, it's Mindset Monday, and what are we going to focus on today?
It is. Today is focus on the target.
Focus on the target. And I have to tell you, in golf, eventually I got to the target, but it was a little bit of a chore. So how are we going to help our golfers, our leaders with focusing on the target?
Well, through this whole podcast, we've always started with go for the gold and don't settle for silver. And what that really means is your best athletes, when they are dialed in the zone, are completely focused on the target. They've done their preparedness. They've got their ducks in a row. They know their in golf, it's pre-swing, and then they know what to do in the swing. They've done all their preparedness. You think of an Olympic athlete, the archer is so focused on that bullseye, that's all that exists. You've got a field goal. This is football season. I actually use field goals in teaching golf because some people work better with a broad target, whereas some work better with a fine target. And I know, Howard, with you and your business and leadership, and when I've worked with some of my leaders, it's very fascinating to me when I'm working with someone to find out how they best learn and whether they truly need a broad or narrow target to maintain that focus and lock in without distraction and really nail it to win.
So I have a question. So I'm working with a client right now, very creative type individual, very accomplished in the area of photography, film, et cetera, editing. And I mean, part of the struggle for him is there's a metaphor somewhere where you feed the wolf in you. There's two wolves. One feeds the negativity, one feeds the positivity and the strength. In fact, you and I may have even had that metaphor in one of our prior podcasts. I'm wondering, so you have this target, and I'm thinking about my client as you're sharing this, and I'm thinking, how does your client, whether it be the golfer or the leader, how do they begin to identify what is the target? How big should it be? Where is it? How does that begin to take shape for them?
Well, everybody's different, and it oftentimes relates to their ability level. And if I'm talking on a business sense, it depends also what their position is within a company and within their leadership scope and role. So if I'm flipping now back to golf, a higher handicap golfer just wants to get the ball in play on the fairway or even in the rough on that particular hole. A middle level player is going to get it on the fairway. And then a higher level player is going to look at the fairway, at the shape of the fairway. Is it sloping left to right? Is it sloping right to left? Where does that bullseye need to be so that that ball rolls into position for them for that next shot that's about to be played? And I actually want to take this even one step further. The more I work with people, and the fact that they have a hard time transferring what they've learned on the range to the golf course, it has really gotten very clear for me as a coach in helping people transfer all that they've learned to the course by just learning how to clear their mind. And what I mean by that is they've worked so hard on the mechanics, they've worked so hard on the fundamentals and technique and getting everything in the right position so that they're creating that success. There comes a point where you've got to let it go and you've got to trust that all that practice is paid off. And now I've just got to play the game. Very, very similar. I think we've used this in the past is like a speaker going up on the stage. You can't have that whole speech written out. You've rehearsed it. You've got your bullet points. You've got your outline. And then it's game on. Let's go and let's deliver. And for most golfers, it's all about tempo and target. And when you get laser focused on the target and where you're going and where you need to swing through to, nothing else should matter. And if you find the right tempo and relax enough into that, you're going to succeed and you're going to have the best shots ever. We're constantly rehearsing over and over. What is it? How do we recreate without forcing it? How do we let it go and allow it to occur? And the art of allowing definitely crosses over into business.
As you're sharing this, I'm also thinking about the think box and play box, because this preparation, this thinking, what do I need to do to practice? What are the essentials of success in this moment? What does that look like? For your golfer or your golf pro, it's where on the course do I want my ball to end up, and it's practicing to get it there. And same thing for the leader, or even my client for that matter. He goes from project to project, and one of the tools he has at his disposal is to continually to remind himself that he has all the capabilities, but then he's practicing to remind himself, this is what I want to achieve here. This is where I want to achieve there. So that is in some elements focusing on the target. And I think he also can use this metaphor as well as this think box, go box, which nicely, I think, the more I hear about it, think about it, translates into the world of business as well.
It definitely does. It prepares. It's part of that pre-swing preparation that dials you into the target so that you can actually pull the trigger and just allow it to go. All of that preparation. I keep going back to Phelps. Before he was getting ready to swim, he would put those headphones on and just disappear. And what he was doing is he was visualizing everything that he was about to do. Nothing stood in his way. And he just purely focused on the win. He purely focused on the target and what he was doing in the water. And in doing so in the water, he nailed it every single time. I think of Annika Sorenstam, and she's been so tied into my friends, Lynn Marriott and Pia Nelson, who truly believe that every golfer has the ability, the high level golfers, when you really practice and prepare, you can shoot a 54. Well, Annika shot a 59 and I watched her do it. And it was incredible to see the full focus, the full presence of her moment to moment in that entire round, especially as she closed in on the final holes.
It dawns on me too, this dialing into this focus. Once we learn the way to dial in, because each of us, I would imagine, is unique in how that will happen, is continually refining that dialing in, that focus, and just, I don't think it doesn't seem like it's a one and done. Okay, I've done it once, but I have to do it over and over and over again so that I feed my full potential.
Yes. And not only that, it's the trusting that you have practiced and not letting all those extra thoughts come into your mind and just pulling the trigger and letting it happen. And that's easier said than done, especially when you're a higher handicap level golfer and you're learning the game still. Just like you're preparing for a new project in business, or your friend who's the photographer. But I know darn well he can prepare even better by visualizing all the possibilities of what he can create for that project. And I know darn well he's got the tools, but not only that, when he lets his creative mind open up to the possibilities of what he can do for each and every client, a million possibilities are created further within that project that he's preparing for. You never know what can come out of it.
I love it. I love it. Andrée, any other insights from focusing on the target that are important before we head out?
Yes. With that Think Box, Go Box, I do want to add to all of everything we've spoken about today is about getting present and allowing yourself to let go. I want everybody to know that anxiety can actually sharpen performance. And this is where you get to choose how you're going to respond in any situation. You got to let that anxiety really rechannel itself into that best rhythm possible, that best tempo ever, and then give it a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't, do it the next time and do it again and do it again, and keep bringing yourself back to the best time and the best moment you ever hit that shot. And it might have been on the driving range. It might have been on another course, another day. Everybody's had a great shot. And beginning golfers say, oh, wow, I didn't know I could do that. That's the shot you go back to. And the more you channel that into fun and enjoyment versus fear is false evidence appearing real anyway. You just let it go and go for it and stay focused on the target, and you'll get there.
Oh, fantastic. And I'm thinking, my client, I wish he was here listening to this. I mean, we had conversation around this topic, and but this is just wonderful. I mean, just that focus and remembering the time you hit that brilliant shot and going back to, I could do this. And now it's a matter of taking the steps and doing, working on that focus, thinking through all the things you have to do, and then just going for it.
Absolutely. And we'll share with him this episode.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. In fact, I'm going to go tell him, you need to go back and listen to all these episodes. Okay. So Andrée, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
Best place is my website, www.andregolf.com. My YouTube site, which is Andrée Martin Golf. My LinkedIn site and Facebook.
Fantastic. And we will most certainly provide the backlinks to your website, andregolf.com, and your YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. As always, Andrée, it is a pleasure to have you on Success Insight, and we really appreciate you participating in this series of episodes for us. Mindset Monday, there's no end to the possibilities for us to help our clients and colleagues, et cetera, work on their mindset. So thank you so much.
My pleasure, Howard. Focus on the target and you'll get the gold.
Very good. Very good. All right, folks, we've just been chatting with Andrée Martin. This is an episode of Mindset Monday on Success Insight. And our topic today was focus on the target. Check out all of our episodes with Andrée in the series Mindset Monday on our website, successinsightpodcast.com. And you can also visit us on our Facebook page, LinkedIn company page, successinsightpodcast.com. And we're also on YouTube, as well as all of the major podcast channels. So whether you get your podcast from Google, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, we're now available on Amazon Music. So wherever you prefer to get your short pieces of content, 15-minute episodes. It's a wonderful way to go take a walk around the block and listen to a great episode of Mindset Monday with Andrée and I. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Do let us know. Share it with your friends. We'd love to hear comments, and most certainly looking forward to what Andrée has in store for us during the next episode of Mindset Monday. So folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day, a great weekend, great week, or whatever day you're listening to this podcast. But in any case, take care of yourselves, your family, wear your mask, practice social distancing, and this episode is going to drop before our November election. Get out there and vote, okay? And we will see you on the next episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Take care now.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.